guys, we are back for episode 2 on What Will It Take for Me to Be. And so we've got Shantae Can. I love Shantae Can, would love to meet her. But at any rate, she is singing a song called Fruition. And so that's what we're talking about. How are you living a life of being? Are you in manifestation? Is there a fruition of you? And so that's what we're talking about. And so today we're going to pick back up where we left off. And so we were talking about knowing. How did Kayla come into the knowing? Because I'm realizing, and we were talking about that, knowledge is light. And so how did she come into the knowing? And she began to share some of that. And we shared the scriptures too about the breath of God is in every single man in the earth. Yes. Every single one. And then, the light of man, that life is the light of man. And then, it dwells in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not, because some people are walking around ignorant. Okay? But we're talking about turning the light on. What will it take for me to be? And so we just had a moment right before we came back to the camera. And I'm telling you, this is so inspiring. And that's what I desire to do, is to inspire people to be who they truly are. And again, just the breath of God all over my sister. And as she speaks, it's just wisdom. It's light. It is life, literally. And so with that being said, we're talking about knowing. Is there anything else, Kayla, that you wanted to share about the knowing before we kind of move on? Because I've got some notes here and just some things I want to talk about. But anything you want to share?
Knowing is twofold. It is knowing of the past of your generations and family and their expectations and man's expectation. But there's a knowing in God. There's a difference. And so many times we get them mixed up. In actuality, trying to pursue both at the same time, and it causes conflict, because what made for one person is not made for the next. And that knowing and being comfortable in that okay, God, you lead me and I'll follow. It's like hands down, I'm not going to listen to the Aaron Spears. I'm not going to listen to the chitter chatter, but I'm going to hear you clearly, and a strange voice I will not follow at all. And because people experience sometimes become annoying to us, but just because they're experiencing everything like that does not mean that that's God's experience and knowing for ourselves. Right. Because the beauty of our thumbprint says that you're authentically and wonderfully and beautifully made and unique. So why not be who you're supposed to be, and accepting that? But in that accepting is that knowing that I'm okay to be the authentic me. I'm okay in my DNA, in my hair follicles, in my saliva, in my thumbprint. God said, be you and be okay being you. And that's when you know that you're not 5'3" and African American, that you wrap around the world twice, 3 times if you want to. It's that knowing that breathes that keep going.
Yeah, it's that. I like that. It's that knowing that breeds that keep going. I like that. Hashtag that. It's that knowing that breeds that keep going. And so even your point there kind of goes into the other thing that I had mentioned, or I was thinking about earlier today before this conversation, is the unapologetic approach. So when you're talking about, understanding and accepting where you are, because what family says does not always match what God says about you, your experiences, and all of that. And so the unapologetic approach, and I say for me personally, I am working on that. You know what I mean? I am working on that, because for so long I always carried the weight of what others would think and trying to please people, and almost to the point of subconsciously doing that. And I think you made mention earlier today too about just being conditioned in some things, and the way you grew up, and this is how our family does, and this is what we think, and this is how we do the church, and this is what we do in our neighborhood, and this and that. And so you grow up and you've got people that you love and that you trust, and just society and community, if you will, that kind of helps to condition and groom you, if you will. But you got to be able to know, come into the knowing, coming into the understanding, and being able to break free from that and be unapologetically who you are. And so I know for me, as I am coming into the knowing and the unapologetic approach, like it took some breaking. You understand me? It took some breaking. It took some real life things to happen. And I literally am like, what the hell is all of this?
Right.
And so all of that, sometimes we have to realize that the things that do come in our lives and the things that do show up is to help us break free from that.
Yes.
And so with that being said, I just, you talked about the light and the knowing and all of that. And I have said it before on YouTube. The Lord spoke to me when I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis back in 2015. He said, without light, things fester in the dark. The light has come to expose and uproot. So the fester is the putrefying and the rotting and all of that. But the light has come for salvation. If you're going to expose something and then uproot it, it's like, hey, you got that right there. You don't see it, but I'm turning the light on for you. You got that right there.
Deal with it.
Deal with that. Let me pluck it up
Yes.
and save the real you. Because all
That's
this,
it.
yeah.
Save the real you.
Let me save the real you.
That's
Because you got all this stuff going on. You think you've been conditioned. You think that's that because people's fear and people's anxiety and people's experience and all of this has come to try and shape you and to keep you in a box. But this is the time for us to be and be free. You hear me? Unapologetically, and all of our authenticity and as you so beautifully said about the thumbprint, I mean, all of that. There will never, ever, ever be another you. I got a twin sister. I love her. She is beautiful. She is talented. We shared the room. That's my bosom buddy. But we are not the same. You understand? At all. And so, when we come to understand and embrace who we truly are and go through the things and be unapologetic about it, then there is more light because you're able to illuminate even the more.
Yes,
you're able to be even the more. And so with all of that, I think about confidence and I think about boldness. And I know for me, growing up when I was a little girl, real shy.
Really?
Yes. You say that like you shocked. You shocked, girl. I was shy. Like,
really?
Yes.
No way.
So real shy and like very timid. I always wanted to make friends because I was looking for acceptance because I had not first reconciled that within me.
Yes.
And so what does that mean to you, Kayla, when we talk about, not, thinking about what the family has to say, being unapologetic in who you are and incorporating confidence and boldness in that?
That, like you said, it takes acceptance of me being okay with me.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna keep saying this.
Yeah, because I think that's good.
It's just like for me, my personal, there's four of us, four sisters, and we're the Jackson girls, and all that. The last name was just everything, and we all can sing, we all can dance, and so my dad was like all about everybody's gonna sing and everybody's gonna dance, and it was a great idea, but as we grew up, we understood that that's not what we wanted to do together, but we know that we're supposed to do something together. But it was it's an individual effort for us to be what we're supposed to be. It's like I can sing and I can dance, but that's not what I'm called to be. And so I had to eradicate that. And when I told God yes to my life, to his will and his way, that was like, God was like, okay, circumstance, situation, let's go get that yes. And I was like, what in the world did I say yes to? I said yes to leaving a lot of comfortable places.
Oh,
I said yes to the hurt. I said yes to the denial of people, the denying of what I'm becoming from people. Like, people are like, what? That's you, Kayla? I'm like, yeah, that's me. And once I dealt with that. I was like, okay, whatever, you know. And God was like, I never said I didn't love you. And I was like, because you loved me. And I had to find, in the midst of all that, I found love. Yeah. And once I found love, which was my synergy of it all, then blossomed confidence and boldness.
Oh, so I love
me
that.
now. I love me now. I'm like, I love me. Yes. I love the because of the, like I said before, the man or the society idea, and then I got God's idea, and then it caused so much friction that I was frustrated with me. I'm like, I went to the depression. I went to self hate and all these different things that was this ugly place. And God was like, I love you. And I'm like, you really do. And that's how it all started. Like, I love you and I accept you. And then his words became my words when I was like, I love you, Kayla. I could look in the mirror and be like, you look beautiful. Yes. And then I accept you. And now I have confidence enough to be like, this is me. And when you say, oh, you it's all on you, I'm like, what?
Like, what you talking about?
But God was like, that's where I need you to be and stay there. And that's what I've been calling you to be. Yeah. Literally calling you to be.
Yes. Calling you to be. Because I need that in the earth. There are several things that you said. You talked about the yes and what in the world did I say yes to? I want to talk about that. But then you said something too that was just so absolutely beautiful and inspiring.
Praise God.
I'm realizing that inspiration is literally breath. It's refreshing breath. You inspire, you breathe fresh breath. So you just inspired me. So, amen. But when you talked about the love, and then out of that love, I think you said came boldness and confidence. It just kind of sprung up. That was such an amazing analogy. I love that. Because when you talk about the synergy of who you are, the scripture tells us that God is what? Love. Okay? And so realizing that he is on the inside of you, and it's not what man has said or circumstance and all of that, and coming to realize and reconcile that friction. Oh, honey, that is everything. And so I remember some years ago, the Lord was talking to me about yes. He said, when you say yes to God's plan, to God's will, it literally is a death sentence.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a dying of what was, or what you think it is.
Right, or what you think it's supposed to be, and what you think, and you have formulated in your mind, like, okay, this is what this get ready to be right here. But yeah, no, God was like, when you say yes, honey, that is a death sentence. And so, like, we talked about, circumstance, okay, let's come in and get that yes. And so, for the will of God to embrace the yes that you've given out, you've spoken into the atmosphere, you've commanded everything to come into alignment with that yes. So some stuff got to come off. Like it will fall off. It's got to, cut, hurt, bleed, whatever. Like sometimes you're going to have to go through to get to that yes. And so that is so amazing. And I know, like, just this week, well, not this week, the other week, this is just so on point, because I'm being transparent. Like, God is doing a work in me. And we were at Church on the Tracks the other week, and I was like, and God told me I need another yes from me. And I said, I know what that means, and it is a death sentence, but
it is beautiful.
It is so beautiful, because it literally, a seed has to die and germinate in the ground, and then springs up life, beauty, and resource that benefits more than just itself, but the entire world. You're able to breathe. You're able to see.
Right there.
Yes, you're able to be inspired with fresh breath and so much more. So I am so excited. Guys, we got more to talk about. I'm telling you, you got to stay tuned for the next episode 3. We are talking about what will it take to what? Be. All right. Thanks, guys. Join us for the next episode. We'll be right back. See ya. Ladies and gentlemen, I truly hope that you are enjoying What Will It Take for Me to Be, as two young women are discovering and enjoying and inspiring one another, and hopefully you on your journey as you authentically become and you authentically be all that you're created to in this time and season. Please be sure to follow Kayla Mills on Facebook and also Instagram, as she is a fantastic, phenomenal, up-and-coming philosopher. And I love her energy and her inspiring words. So please be sure to join us for episode 3, which airs on Monday night. We hope that you can join us there. But again, we inspire to aspire and inspire you to authentically be. So please make sure you join us for the next episode. All right, talk to you soon. Bye-bye.